television rules the nation.
RTE rules the nation. Ryan Tubridy rules the nation. Tony Houlihan rules the nation. Wow, what's the crack? COVID-19 has done some horrible things to our country. South William Street has turned into a boxing ring. There's apartheid in the pubs, and Matty McGrath thinks he's back in Nazi Germany. The Delta variant may well be on the rampage, but somebody ring up the World Health Organization and tell them that there's a new strain on the loose, and it's the worst yet. I'm calling it the Lazarus variant, because it's brought RTE back from the dead. Last week, RTE published their financial accounts for 2020, and for the first time in years, they have managed to turn a profit. Why? Because COVID-19 has been a wet dream for the powers that be in RTE. Their costs have never been lower. They have officially stopped spending any money on comedy or entertainment on the advice from Neffet that laughter is highly contagious. Payment of the TV license fee has never been higher because the TV license man knows that we're all at home. And the government is continuing to spend record amounts on public health advertising, leaving RTE perfectly positioned to do what it does best: churn out dull, miserable, downbeat content day in, day out.
Maybe I like the misery.
All the while paying themselves an enormous packet. It's old news that the so-called stars of RTE get paid a bomb. Up until this year, most of this list were being paid their full salaries through separate companies, which they set up to avoid paying the full 52% tax. The stars of RTE get paid their salaries from taxpayers' money, and here they are aggressively trying to avoid paying their own tax themselves. It's a disgrace. No one else in the country is allowed to do this, but the stars up in RTE were doing it for the last 20 years. It's only been in the last year that revenue copped on to what they were at. RTE got caught red-handed and has now entered into a secretive settlement with revenue, and the matter has been effectively brushed under the carpet. This alone should be a national scandal, but it's not. No one really cares. No one expects anything different. And everyone just says, it'll be grand. In 2011, in the depths of the recession, the Late Late Toy Show imposed a €70 limit on all toys to be reviewed that year. At the time, Tubridy was earning over €500,000 of taxpayers' money. In the lead up to the show, a journalist asked him if he ever felt guilty about his own salary when he hears about the many tales of hardships from the children coming on the show. He responded with this: "No, it doesn't. I basically feel that I can try and do something as a public servant in some respects, in a public service broadcaster way, and think, let's try and make a difference in a way that we can, and I think we can." This is just an indicator of how out of touch the top stars at RTE can be. He's a millionaire host of a children's Christmas toy show. He could have acted as Santa and sponsored a load of cool toys for the kids. But no, he decided to stick to his political guns and staunchly defend his grossly overpaid salary.
I'm joined by Ryan Tubridy here in studio. Ryan, welcome. Who are these books for?
Well, I've read the 4 books over the last week and I've come to the conclusion that there are now 3 distinct U2 fans.
In 1989, Tubridy waltzed into RTE at the age of 12 through family connections, appearing on shows to review books, and he has never left since. For 20 years he was the prince of RTE, and in that time he got every bounce of the ball his way to make him the future king. I want to be clear, Tubridy is a nice guy, but he is in an extremely privileged position within Irish society. A position that he will freely hold until he decides that he wants to retire. He is paid out of taxpayers' money. He earns more than double what the Taoiseach makes, and nobody voted for him. In fact, nobody voted for any of the clowns running RTE. But yet, these same people will lord over our airwaves until they themselves decide to retire. His radio show is good. I have no complaints about that at all. Tubridy is a very good host for political issues. But the lack of imagination and innovation that goes into the Late Late Show makes me genuinely sad. Things have gotten so bad that Tubridy has actually resorted to interviewing himself. But it's not all just Tubridy's fault. RTE is a rotten and stale organisation at its core. 2 years ago, the European Broadcasting Union conducted a report on RTE, and it did not hold back in its criticisms. So much so that RTE refused to release copies of the report, but luckily for us, it was leaked. The report sets out that there is a serious internal lack of cooperation between departments within RTE, that there is a serious lack of focus and innovation, that they are wasting money hand over fist. The report urged RTE to streamline its services, take risks, and be free of its traditional mindsets. The report was seriously critical of its Director General D. Forbes. In response to all of this, RTE came out with a pathetic response around a supposed new 5-year strategy that would address all these concerns. This report corroborates all of the rumours and accusations that have been circulating around the internet on RTE over the last few years. You may remember back in 2017 an anonymous Twitter profile emerged on the scene called a secret producer. This person claimed to be an employee of RTE and was revealing some of the cold hard truths about the inner workings of an incompetent and broken organisation. Now, we don't know the identity of this person, so legally speaking, I better just say that the following may or may not be true. The Twitter page had to be deleted, but here's some of the tweets from the account, and I'll leave a link in the description below to a Reddit page where all of these are set out in order. Basically, what the secret producer was saying, that a job in RTE is for life, that there is no ambition, that there are no promotions or demotions, that the work ethic within RTE is poor at best. It is heavily unionised to the extent that they actively discourage hiring younger talent in order to protect the status quo. The status quo in RTE is that everyone in there, from the cameraman to the Director General, are extremely well paid for doing very little. Ryan Tubridy may have started his illustrious RTE career at the age of 12, but that drawbridge has long been taken up. The country is packed with young, talented entertainers, but none of them are on RTE. Imagine if Foyle Arms and Hogg, Justine Stafford, Tony Cantwell, Ty Hickey, Joanne McNally, Sean Burke, Simon Hennessy, or anyone else like that were given creative reign at RTE. Instead, the Irish public are expected to sit through 6 seasons of Bridget and Eamon, mother of God.
She's probably one of those vegetarians.
This show is an embarrassment to entertainment itself. But once again, no one cares because everyone in RTE is getting paid whether it's terrible or not. But not everything is terrible. There are some good aspects to RTE as well. Rules the nation. It's a real pity that Miriam O'Callaghan never got the Late Late gig. It would have been a seamless transition from Uncle Gabo to Auntie Mirmir. But primetime has flourished as a result, and there are other shows like Nationwide and Ear to the Ground which are great and serve a real valuable purpose. Reeling in the Years is top class, everyone loves it. It's just a wonder they haven't branched out into reeling in the political years or reeling in the sporting years, or my favourite, reeling in the memes. So what does the future hold for RTE? I'm genuinely sad to say that with the way things are currently being run, it's pretty bleak. I grew up watching Den TV, Dustin Saki, Podge and Raj, Zig and Zag. They were class. Then we had the golden generation of sport with Bill O'Herlihy, Dunphy, Brady and Giles, McGurk, Hook and Pope. But RTE today still relies heavily on advertising around live sporting events. But in the next few years, what's going to happen is that most live sports will be bought up by Amazon, Netflix and YouTube. It's no secret that traditional linear TV is being disrupted by these gargantuan streaming platforms. The European Union has recently introduced the Audio-Visual Media Services Directive, which the Irish government has failed to sign into law since last September. Under this new directive, the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland will be transformed into the Media Commission. Every streaming service will be required to have a 30% share of EU-made shows in their catalogues. And get this, the Irish government can choose to impose a levy on Netflix, Amazon and Disney on the profits that they make in Ireland. And this money will be redirected back into Montrose to do up the canteen or maybe even make better content. RTE has recently appointed 4 new directors to its board. One of these is Larry Bass. He is the brains behind Dancing with the Stars, or as I like to call it, Dancing with the Staff, The Voice of Ireland, The Irish Apprentice and Irish MasterChef. Granted that these are not the most original shows, but I will be looking forward to Irish Love Island. Anyway, I think and hope that Larry might inject a bit of grit into RTE because he seems to want to create new shows all the time. So Larry, if you or anyone else high up in Montrose is watching this, then here is my advice to save the future of RTE. Syndicate out RTE's already existing content and start pitching 10 new shows a week to Netflix. Stop trying to fight against Netflix or Amazon. It's like holding back the tide. Start putting 10 times more emphasis into YouTube.
I have over 100 different watermelons in this field, and this is a check for $1 million.
If Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, can have 65 million YouTube followers, then there is no reason why RTE can't either. And here's a little bit of secret sauce for all you knuckleheads up in Montrose. Mr. Beast is actually advised by an Irish YouTube guru, Paddy Galloway. In my eyes, Paddy should be the Director General of RTE. Get on Snapchat. Get bigger on Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. It doesn't cost much at all to set these up. Cut Tubridy's pay packet in half and divert the money here. Sky Sports, Disney, BBC, CNBC, Channel 4, CBBC, BBC, all have Snapchat channels generating millions a year in revenue. Why don't RTE have a Snapchat channel? I know for a fact that RTE were approached by Snapchat to set up a partnership, but RTE didn't give them the time of day. Hire young people to run all of this. Start a graduate program, an academy for creators and producers. If St. Michael's can produce the Irish rugby team, then St. Benilda's can create future Hollywood stars. Give kids a chance and they will surprise you. Lastly, and by no means least, sell Montrose. RTE is sitting on the most valuable land in the country, just so Tubridy and the gang can hop out of bed in the morning, jump in the car from Blackrock, spin up to Montrose campus and lord around the place like it's a God-given right. RTE studios should be set up close to the airport. The sale of the land will give RTE one last chance to clear out all of the dead wood. It will give it a chance to hire in and train new, younger talent and create better, more meaningful and entertaining content. Thank you very much for listening to my rant. Please don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, so please help make it happen. Daily Millennial rules the nation.